Доброе утро, привет. Как дела? Меня зовут Sierra. И сегодня мы... I forgot what the word for read it is. I always forget that one, but... Okay. Hi, my name is Sierra. I am American, but and so obviously English is my first language, but I have a love of languages, and the one I'm studying right now is Russian. And so I also am a Christian, and I love Jesus, and I love reading the Bible and studying the Bible. And oftentimes what I love to do is combine Bible reading and language practice at the same time. It makes it really interesting, and it's always super fun and rewarding when I'm like reading the Bible in a different language, and I'm like, I know exactly what that is. And like sometimes just reading it, like part of what I love is like, a lot of us, or some of us, if you're familiar with the English Bible and you read and you know what the passage is in a different part, in a different language, you'll already know what it's kind of supposed to say. So you'll be reading these words, you may not even know what they mean, but you know what they mean. So it's kind of like a fun jumpstart trick to learn extra words. And of course everyone has different learning styles, and that's not the only thing I do to study Russian, but it's a big thing that I love to do. And then I also really like to write down, handwriting, whatever language you're learning. I mean, for me it's Russian, but if you're learning French, Spanish, German, if you're an English student as well, I think really handwriting is really rewarding. It's really rewarding to see like a handwritten like notes. I have lots and lots of notes that I've written just in Russian, and even if I forget what it meant, I still look at that. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I don't know all these words necessarily, but I remember this was a Bible passage I wrote down. This was a song lyrics I wrote down. Anyway, this is what it looks like handwritten. It is backwards, obviously. So I'm sorry about that, but this is kind of, my handwriting. My Russian handwriting. So today I have a Russian Bible, but and we're going to be, this is Luke 20, chapter 12, verses 22 through 27. And so I like to find a specific passage, read it in English, then read it in Russian, and then go through and write it down in Russian. And so I use both my phone, the Bible app on my phone, because sometimes it's easier and you can go and highlight on your phone, and it's a little bit easier than looking at this book, which this one is also a bit on the small side and a little water stained, so it's hard to even keep it open. But I do like to read from the paper Bible. I really want what I have. So I have a bilingual Bible. It is English and French. I also speak French. I mean, not perfectly, but that was the first language I started learning when I was in middle school. And so I can pretty well understand French, but it's really nice because it has the English and then the French right next to it. Excuse me. And for Christmas one year, my dad speaks Spanish. I got him a Spanish-English bilingual Bible. He absolutely loved it, and he reads it all the time. So my main English Bible that I use is this one, it's the NIV, New International Version, and so I use this as my, but I just focus on the English, unless I'm also focusing on French, but anyway, all that to say. So I'm going to read from the Bible, and then I'm going to read, I guess I'm going to read what I hand wrote because it's a little bit easier, and since these letters are so much smaller, I'd have to like hold it up on my face and you won't be able to see what I'm saying. So what we're going to do is going to go through this verse by verse, and I'm going to give you some vocabulary from the passage, and some sentences, some small sentences that hopefully you can remember, like, oh, this phrase means this in Russian, and yeah. So first, let's just pray really quick. Dear Lord, thank you for this time to study your word, and for this idea that you gave me of studying language and the Bible at the same time, because you are so smart and you know what people love, and you know that I love languages, and I hope that this time is helpful for others, and just help me to pronounce everything, okay, so they can understand me. And I just pray for anyone who's watching who may be feeling a little bit sad, or lonely, or just anything less than, or even feeling great, just that you would remind them that you are there with them and you love them, and you know everything, and just to also remember to rest in you. And you know, today's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday, to take some time this weekend to just rest and do a devotion with you, whether it be in just English or in a different language too. Anyway, I love you, Jesus. In your name I pray, amen. Okay, so, right. So, we've got Luke chapter 12. This is one of my favorite passages ever. And you probably have heard, it's the do not worry passage. So first I'm gonna read the whole 5-verse chunk in English really quick, because I can do that fast, and then we'll go through it in Russian in smaller chunks. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body, what you will wear. For life is more than food, the body more than clothes. Consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap. They have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable you are than the birds. Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest? Consider how the wildflowers grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon, in all of his splendor, was dressed like one of these." All right. And of course, that's not the full passage, but I just want to focus on those 5 verses, because that's what I wrote down. So, okay, right. So now I'm going to read verse 22 in Russian and break it down for you. Затем он сказал своим ученикам: «Поэтому я говорю вам, не тревожьтесь о своей жизни, что вам есть, Ili o swoim ciele włożę wam Odyetsaya. So, Jesus said to his disciples, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body, what you will wear. Zatiem on сказал. Zatiem on сказал. What do you think that means? On сказал means he said. If you want to say she said, you would say ona сказал. But so on is one of the Russian prepositions for he. Ona would be for her. But of course here in the English it doesn't say he, it says then Jesus said. But I just pointed that out because if you want to know what Jesus' name is in Russian, it's not any of these words. His name is Iisus. Iisus Christos. So we could also say, this is the way the Russian was translated, but we could also say Zatiem Iisus сказал. So on is the substituting word he for Iisus, for Jesus, just like he substitutes for whatever the person's name is, whatever. Like he, this white cat, Stoey. Anyway, okay, so hopefully that helps a little bit. And now here's another. Poetemu Ya-Govoru-Vam. Poetemu. Poetemu. What do you think that is? Therefore. Poetemu Ya-Govoru-Vam. Ya-Govoru-Vam. That means I tell you. So Jesus could have just said Ya-Govoru-Vam, I tell you, but isn't it a little more intense when there's the therefore before, just like in English? Poetemu Ya-Govoru-Vam. I can just see him standing and saying that. Even though Jesus probably spoke Aramaic or Hebrew, I know he did not speak Russian, but I could still see him saying that. And he wouldn't have spoken English either. Sometimes it's interesting to read the Bible and read it in whatever language we're reading, but you like wonder about, I wonder how it sounded when Jesus actually said what he said and the people said what they said. Obviously if you know Aramaic, Greek, and Hebrew, you know, but I know very, very little. I know some Hebrew terms, and that is mostly just from like Bible study and stuff. But anyway, back to this. That's a whole nother topic. Anyway, so Поэтому я говорю вам, не тревожьтесь о своей жизни. Не тревожьтесь о своей жизни. What does that mean? Не means is a negative, so тревожьтесь would be afraid. To be afraid. So we put the не in front of it to make it do not be afraid. So не тревожьтесь о своей жизни. Жизни, life. Своей, your. So there are many different ways to say your in Russian, but that is one of them. Свои. And then о, about. So о, about. Okay. Что вам есть? Или о своей теле, во что вам одеться. Что, what, вам, you, есть, eat. Есть, to eat. So, what you will eat, or about. Или, or about your своем теле, your body. Во что вам одеться, what you will wear. Alright, put it all together. Затем он сказал своим ученикам: Поэтому Я-Govoru-Vam, не тревожьтесь о своей жизни, что вам есть, или о своем теле, во что вам одеться. Okay, good job. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? I know, it's okay if it's a lot, but, breaking, I find it's good to, instead of just like reading it and just for the pronunciation, to go back and break it down bit by bit into small phrases. So if you think about it, you can use these small little phrases, instead of just memorizing one whole long verse, but you don't really memorize what the words are, you just remember how to say it, versus you can memorize these small little phrases. So in the description of the video, I'm probably going to put the written phrases, like highlight a few phrases for you so you can see how it's actually written in Russian. But you can start learning a few of these, like, simple phrases that can be inserted into multiple conversations. So it's really cool because this is a way to, through reading scripture, we hear, there's dialogue, there's storytelling, there's all of the stuff that, goes into like regular, like, conversations in life. So it's a way to learn conversational Russian and also study it at the same time. All right, now let's try and do at least one more verse. I do have to say, reading in Russian, it does exhaust me because, and it's totally okay. Like, reading in general is tiring. Like, for some reason, I don't know if you feel the same, but like when you pick up a book in English and you read from the book, it's more tiring than just like sitting and like having a conversation of the same length with someone, but like speaking from your head. And I think that is because we're concentrating on two things. We're concentrating on what the words are written and interpreting them in our heads and then saying them, versus just talking and like the words flowing out of your mind. So it's a lot. So then when you're learning a new language, you're combining, what does this mean? How is it pronounced? And, but trying to understand it at the same time. And so that's why it takes a while to learn languages, because there's so many different parts. It's not just the one, there's written, vocal, understanding, and speaking. But anyway, so if you struggle in any of those areas, it's okay to not, like don't force yourself. For example, if you are just starting out, don't force yourself to go and think you have to learn how to pronounce this all. Like, you can even, watch videos, it's always encouraged to repeat after the teacher, but, when I first started, I pretty much just started listening to just, like, the way it would sound and, like, the way I listened to Russian songs, just to, like, get a feel for, and then I try to say it myself and I sound like I'm stumbling over my words, but it's okay because you're learning an entirely different way to form sounds, because the sounds in Russian and in English, there are some that are similar, but they're often put together in combinations that are different. At least I find, some words are really easy, like, for example, on. That's really easy. Oh. Vam. Those are easy. But then we have a word like trevosties. Trevosties. And then that's not, so in Russian, something that's interesting is there are quite a few very, very short words, and then quite a few very, very, very long words. It's just interesting. It's a different structure, and you can say some sentences in English that you could say would take you 5 words in English, only take you 3 words in Russian. Some sentences you could say in 3 words in English would take 6 words in Russian. Something like maybe not. So, for an example, сегодня это холодно. It's cold today. Wait. Сегодня очень холодно. It's very cold today. Okay, so that's actually lining up pretty well. Anyway, I'm losing track. Alright, see how that was so much easier for me to just speak it off the top of my head because I've practiced it many times. So if you struggle with reading and pronouncing, don't worry. Just, learn some phrases and practice those over and over. Also, another way, so for example, you can start naming things around your house in Russian. For example, my cats. In Russian, koshik is cat, or koshka, or kot. There are a lot of cute names for cat. Kotenok. So I started calling my cats koshka and kotenok. Table is a stole. So you can be like, where is this? And na stole is on the table. It's like, I can't find my phone. Gide my phone. Gide means where is. That is one that is instead of having 2 words for where is, it's just gide. 3 letters for the whole 2 words. So there we go. That's a better example. Right, now let's try at least one more verse. Now that I've had a break from the reading and kind of giving you some tips. Hopefully you are learning from this. I really am wanting these videos I'm trying to reach people who actually are interested in learning Russian. Please let me know in the comments if you find these videos helpful and or what you listen to these videos for. If you just like listening to me talk, that's totally fine. If you like me reading the Bible, that's also fine. If you like me trying to teach you guys stuff in different languages, please let me know, because I am trying to make videos that my audience really enjoys. I personally enjoy doing teaching videos like this, but I know a lot of you don't speak Russian and or aren't interested, but are interested in Bible reading and stuff like that. So that's kind of, and like it when I just do talking videos, but I don't know. Now that's a whole nother tangent, but I'm hoping that this video will get put out to people, who really want to practice English, or sorry, practice Russian, or even for Russians who want to practice English, just because I find the other day I found this really small channel of this girl who teaches Russian. She has less than 700 subscribers, but she has some amazing videos, and I was like, whoa, this is perfect. This is so educational and great. And I don't really know why the YouTube algorithm is so difficult to find. Oftentimes I find that people with the smallest accounts have the best things to say, and YouTube is just so, the algorithm, it's really difficult to find what you're looking for. If you just look at what YouTube recommends, they recommend the same thing over and over. but the more you, I find the more I like content that I like it suggests to me more and more videos like that. So, I mean, YouTubers always, I don't like to say, remember to like and subscribe if you liked, because I find it cringy, but I mean, yeah, if you do actually like this and you don't want to lose this video, go ahead and subscribe. I make videos literally every day. Literally every day, at least a short or something. I'm very active. I think sometimes people will like miss a lot of my videos because YouTube just doesn't recommend put them out. But or leave, leave a like, leave a comment. It can be anything. Just like the more engagement we get with these videos, the more it's relevant. Because I don't want people out there thinking that I'm not making videos when I actually am making a lot. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent. I'm sorry. But I've also been on this kick of like making like long videos. One more tangent, then we'll go back to the thing. So I used to use this little phone to film all of my videos, and I still use this phone for filming like TikToks and stuff like that, but I can't use it. I used to film my YouTube videos on this phone, so my phone has many long videos on it. I've been doing YouTube over 5 years, so anyway, this phone barely works because it's almost full of storage, and also like I don't know what it is about recording and uploading longer videos. It just takes a lot of time, but I'm having issues with even my short videos. But good news is I'm getting a new phone, so that is just a new phone. It's just going to be solely dedicated. I'm not going to put service on it. I'm going to keep service on this old phone and just use that. It's going to have a lot of storage. Ooh, Mushy! Sorry, I'm just afraid he's going to knock the tablet over. And it's just going to be dedicated to making videos, and I think it's going to be Mushy. It's just going to be a lot better for being consistent, and yeah, so if you are still listening, just know there are a lot of things that I've wanted to make lately that I haven't been able to post, but I'll be back with more. But I got back into making long form videos because I have this tablet, which I also bought for the purpose of filming long videos. And I also have been making longer videos because I personally like to watch long YouTube videos, and I like to find a long video to just put on in the background. And it's really hard these days to find like a good creator who just like makes like long videos that you can just sit, who aren't like, reaction channels or people talking about other people online, people talking about news, trends, stuff like that. I feel like a lot of content on YouTube is just other content creators making content about other content creators, so it's like not even their original content, and those are the type of videos that get so many views, and I just don't understand why. And I really don't like that. I like original content, and it's rare, it's hard to find. There are a few people that I like who make original content. That being said, if you guys also enjoy this type of original content and you have other creators that you watch, please let me know, because I need more of that type of thing. Also, let me know, do you like these long type of videos? I have been told I have a nice voice, and sometimes people like to put the videos on in the background, and I honestly, I do kind of agree. I do like the way my voice sounds. Not when I'm speaking necessarily, but then I listen, I'm like, oh, that's how my voice sounds? That's actually not so bad. So sometimes I'll put it on my own videos in the background. It's more relaxing than whatever other person who's making gossip videos about other YouTubers. I don't know. For me personally. I also love watching pastors and stuff like that. Anyway, so it's kind of funny. This started out being like a one type of thing, and now it's turning into a whole talk, so I'll have to mention that in the description, but it's fine. It's kind of nice to just sit and just talk to the camera. Like, I used to do that when I first started YouTube years ago, and I was filming on my phone, and I had all the storage in the world, so I could make 20-30-minute videos on my little phone, and then my phone started glitching, and I had to stop doing that, and I started doing TikTok and making shorter videos, and then now I'm back to YouTube and TikTok, and I like to do both. The original video that I was making for this, I was trying to film it on TikTok and make like a shorter like version for TikTok, but I made a 10-minute video and then TikTok deleted it, and then I started filming it again, and halfway through my phone said, "You do not have enough storage to continue," and I was like, okay. But it's actually alright because there, you know, you have a time limit, like, and I was kind of stressed about the 10-minute time limit. I don't even know, does anyone watch 10-minute TikTok videos? I don't know. Sometimes people do, sometimes they don't. But anyway, then I was like, well, maybe this was meant to be a YouTube video. Right. So, but I think I'm gonna start doing this more often, doing like a Bible study series where a Bible study and language study series. So you guys can also request, please do this, please request Bible passages that you want me to read in Russian. Or French. Russian or French. I can do Russian and I can do French. But, yeah. And we will do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you one more verse, or a couple more verses until my voice runs out. Because this is really fun. Anyway. So let's go back. I had this one teacher in middle school, and she would go on these, what she called bunny trails. I just went on a bunny trail. I'm sorry. But hopefully you enjoyed that. So, now verse 23. Let's just read it in English really quick. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothes. That's short enough. Есть важнее пищи, itll важнее одежды. So vid would be therefore, life is важнее Pteetsee. Важнее Pteetsee. Itll важнее одежды. So life is more than clothes, body is more than, or life is more than food, body more than clothes. Verse 24. Посмотрите на воронов, они не сеют и не жнут, и у них нет хранилищ, и им воров. Однако Бог питает их. Насколько же вы цените пищи? Can you tell what I just said from that inflection? How much more is your life worth than these birds? See? Yes. if that is how, they do not consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap. They have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable you are than the birds. I like that. So, naskолько je vis сильнее, I'm probably pronouncing сильнее этих птиц. How much more valuable are you than many birds? Just go up to someone and practice that, and I'd be like, I just wanted to tell you, насколько je vis сильнее этих птиц. I'll be like, wow, you're welcome. If they speak Russian, they'll be like, what did you tell me? If they speak English, they'll just... But honestly, it is a nice... I don't know why that... I'm speaking loud. Alright, let's move on. И кто из вас беспокоясь может продлить себе жизни хотя бы на час? На час. Час is hour. Chess. So, what do you think I said there? And who of you can, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? И кто из вас беспокоясь? So, by worrying, может продлить себя жизнь хотя бы на час? Can you add? Хотя means can. Хочешь or хотя would be can you. Oh wait, no. Может, sorry. Может. Can you add one more hour to your life? Если вы не можете сделать даже этого, то зачем вам тревожиться об остальном? Who of you, if you cannot, since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest? Если вы не можете сделать, that would be do, даже этого, то зачем вам тревожиться об остальном? Why do you worry about all the rest? Подумайте о том, как растут лилии. Они не трудятся и не проядут, но говорю вам, что даже Соломон во всем своем величии не одевался так, как любая из них. Consider how the wildflowers grow. This is my favorite one. They do not store nor reap, or they do not labor or spin. I was thinking of something else. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all of his splendor was dressed like one of these. Podumajte o tom. So podumajte, that would be the imperative for consider. Podumajte, consider this. Подумай о том. Подумайте о том. Consider this. Как растут лилии. How растут, grow, лилии, flowers. Consider how the flowers grow. Они не трудятся. Они is they. So like how we have он, he, она, her, они, they. Они не, remember what that is, that's a negative, so we know that this is a negative verb. Не трудятся. They do not spin. Yes. They do not labor or spin. Они не трудятся и не приедут. Но говорю вам, что даже Соломон во всем своем величии не одевался так, как любая из них. Now that is an example of where it seems like there's more in the Russian than, consider how, because the English, that was the whole, this is like this chunk, like a pretty long chunk is verse 27, versus in English it's really a lot shorter. So yeah, again, consider how the wildflowers grow, they do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all of his splendor was dressed like one of these. Okay. Let's see. Что даже Соломон во всем своем величии не одевался так. So Solomon in his splendor was not dressed like one of these. Как любая из них. Как любая из них. Yeah. Ya-Govoru-Vam. Ya-Govoru-Vam. Yeah, sorry. Ya-Govoru-Vam. Yet I tell you. And yeah. Okay. Wow. I think I'm getting a little bit burned out. But there we go. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and we made it through the entire passage. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, sorry for that whole like long spiel. Hopefully you guys got through this whole video. Let me know how far you made it and what you liked about this video, and if you want to see more like this in the future. And I probably will be doing this more. I am maybe going to start like trying to do like a shorter language teaching series, like in, but also probably do more long Bible studies like these. Again, please put your favorite Bible verses, Bible passages, and we can study those. I think that makes it a lot more fun. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Bye.